Hi, I'm Mocha Pennington, and I'll be reading a cheeky bit from my short story, Liked.
She held her breath, too frightened to move, knowing the slightest disturbance in the air would betray her. She didn't breathe for 3 seconds. 4, 5, 6. Beyond the tiny fissures between the dilapidated covered doors where she hid, she could just make out his figure moving stealthily through a room of gathering shadows and shapes made ominous by dusk. It was a tall and bulky figure, the grace and mood with the menacing, ghost-like with his fluidity. He had the body to be made uncoordinated, a body that could easily leave shattered glass and upturned chairs in its wake. She would have thought those quick, poised movements of his comical compared to his slovenly girth had his clandestine footfalls not but what landed her here, a lone cabin held hostage by the skeletal arms of a ceaseless woodland. It was a small, crude cabin, haphazardly erected from decaying wood, decorated in mounds of dust and black despair. It began with an "I love you," commented on every one of her Instagram posts dating 3 years back from a blonde-haired, rosy-cheeked man. As if he had an aversion to creativity, he went by the simple username RP. She wasn't too perturbed by the sentiment, however, as she had accumulated a following close to 1 million, some of whom had expressed their gratitude in those 3 words. "I love you" had turned into a lecherous "I want you," which still hadn't given her pause. Men, in her experience, especially those riding the rocky wave of solitude passion, often bestowed such written endearments below the post that stirred their desire. She had read much worse from men in an attempt to captivate her with their graphic, one-handed poetry. He had begun to write long comments describing his need for her, how life was a simple, joyless act of motions without her to give it meaning, which had enveloped her in creeping vines of unease. Her unease had descended into cold fear after reading his declares that the two will, indeed, be together. "I'll have you," he had written to her, "and you cannot deny yourself of my love." After she blocked him, her DMs were swiftly flooded by anonymous accounts, their messages seething with the rage only a broken mind can summon. Her private email, that she had never made public, soon received the same treatment. Long messages crafted by delusional hands, sinister threats woven with proclamations of a love born from madness. A month had passed without finding a dreaded email from him in her inbox. She had thought in that blissful recession he had come to terms with her rejection, perhaps sought out help from a professional. A dark part of her, a part she kept tucked away in the deepest recess of her mind, wished that the hands used to type out his torments were the very hands that took his own life. Poetic justice, she reasoned. It was wishful thinking. She had come home, still elated from a business meeting with her manager, to find